So I'm Cliff Saran. I'm the technology editor of Computer Weekly. I started in Computer Weekly in 1998. Spent a couple of years there, and then I got taken up by the whole e-commerce .com boom and crash. So I left Computer Weekly very briefly, and I came back in 2001 and was one of the launch editors of the original Computer Weekly website. The website only lasted about a year standalone before the team on the web were integrated back into Computer Weekly. And that meant we moved from a lovely office just behind Oxford Street back to the brick building behind Sutton Station in South London. And when we were back on the print title, one of the things that, as you all know, is that you have a weekly cycle, right? So towards the end of that cycle, which on our week would have been on a Monday, there's always what's the last bit of news that we can get in, and that's the Nibs column. So we try and put the latest breaking stories. And and myself and Mike Simmons also, who was the news editor at the time, we have fond memories of Keywell phoning up and pitching Nibs stories, news in brief stories. These are 60-word stories, and he was like, Keywell was adamant to get these stories in. He would be enthusiastically phoning up saying, can I pitch you a nib? Can I pitch you a nib? This was on Monday morning, and sure enough, so those nibs usually made it in. I think up until 2000 it was a really exciting time. It was real innovation. You had the Y2K bug, you had a lot of innovative technology. I mean, this is really old school stuff. Client server computing, the object management group. I used to write about software development, so that was my area of expertise. It was really interesting speaking to proper techies in the big tech firms, the Microsofts and whoever, about what makes technology, what technology they're inventing, what's innovative. And I really enjoyed working as a 20-something in the tech sector in the 1990s. And I think as we moved on during the early 2000s, and that was the first, well, tech isn't that great, is it? What happened with Y2K, it was a bit of it didn't really happen, did it? So, although I think that's because the industry had got its act together and fixed everything. But for the general public, is what a waste of money. What a waste of time that was. However, I think things slowly changed. We first had a lot of people were trying to get back, and there was there was some innovation going on. And I measure my time in my tenure at Computer Weekly by the version of Windows. So by then we were on Windows 2000 Server and things like that. These were quite interesting times. I think that the big change was, first you had the .com boom and bust, and then you had September the 11th. So I think things changed after that. There was obviously the shock of what had happened, and I think the industry went through a bit of a slowdown.